Southern California where it's sunny, but even though the holidays it's Mariah Carey time, you know, right now. It's. Did you know that all she wants for Christmas is me, Guillermo?
Oh,
I keep hearing her sing it.
That's great.
We are into the holidays hard at our house. Last night we decorated gingerbread houses, which I am terrible at, by the way. We've already watched Elf, we watched Charlie Brown Christmas, we watched Home Alone, we watched Christmas Story, we watched the new Christmas Story, we watched all 3 versions of The Grinch, and we were watching The Grinch last night. You know, at the end of The Grinch steals all the toys, goes up to the mountain, waits for everybody in Whoville to cry. He wants them to wake up and then cry, but instead of crying, they sing, and the Grinch's heart becomes engorged with love. Well, I asked my kids, I said, if the Grinch came and stole everything, if he stole all our toys on Christmas morning, would you cry or would you still be happy it was Christmas and we have each other? And immediately they said, oh, yeah, we would cry, for sure. It's not a realistic story at all. We haven't put our tree up yet, but I'll tell you something. We're going to do it next week. And this is how I want to do it. This is how they got the annual Christmas tree, a 40-foot Christmas tree, into the Durham Museum in Omaha, Nebraska. They just attached it to the back of 2 trucks and dragged it in there. How they got the trucks out of the museum, I don't know. Maybe they just blew them up or something, but they had to be drunk when they came up with this plan, right? I mean, this is not a decision that's sober. People make, but I tell you what, I admire it. Congratulations are also in order for the U.S. men's soccer team. Which, they won, they advanced to the round of 16 of the World Cup today. They beat Iran 1-0. This is a weird one to root for because, you know, you'd think the U.S. versus Iran would be like Rocky versus Drago, but there's a revolution going on right now in Iran led by women and young people who are speaking out against the vicious regime that runs that country. And the players for Iran have shown a lot of courage in this tournament. They even refused to sing their national anthem, which resulted in the Iranian government threatening to torture their families. So they weren't exactly villains. It's like finding out the shark in Jaws is an endangered species. You don't know who to root for. But next up, the Americans are going to play the Netherlands, and they're tough. The Dutch, you know, they wear those wooden shoes with the little points on them, and they'll kick you, and it hurts. That game's on Saturday at 6 a.m. our time. Will you get up for that? Will you wake up for that, Guillermo?
Yeah, of course.
You will.
Go USA,
okay.
yeah. Yes.
You rooting for us?
Yes, Jimmy, yeah.
Will you be drinking in the morning for that game? Like when Benji wakes up, will Daddy be hammered with a waffle in his mouth?
No, only 1 shot. Only
Just one shot?
Yeah, that's it, yes.
At the beginning of the game or at the end?
No, at the beginning for the nervous.
Okay, all right. In other sports, this is, I think, a good thing for Americans to see because evidently we're not the only people not getting along with each other. Canadians are having some trouble, too, or at least 2 of them are. This is from an amateur hockey game up in British Columbia, and please stay all the way to the end of this clip because you will be very glad you did. Knocking yourself unconscious against the glass at a hockey rink is what they call a Canadian nap. Speaking of head injuries, polls are showing Herschel Walker in a dead heat with the incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock in their runoff, and Republicans are pulling out all the stops to support Herschel. Senators Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, in particular, have spent more time with him than he spent with all of his children combined.
TeamHerschel.com, TeamHerschel.com, TeamHerschel.com.
TeamHerschel.com, 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 TeamHerschel.com,
TeamHerschel.com, 20, 21, 22, 32, 33, 34, 35.
I really think Lindsey Graham might be in love with Herschel Walker. It's crazy. It's like, and by the way, 35 push-ups. It's hard to do push-ups with an erection. That's a lot. We seem to be in the middle of a never-ending political campaign. The next presidential election is still 2 years away, but the race to run the Republican National Committee is heating up. We learned yesterday that Mr. MyPillow, Mike Lindell, is throwing his tinfoil hat in the ring. He wants to be in charge of Republican Party campaign spending. He would like to unseat Ronna McDaniel. And Mike Lindell, he's got a tendency to make big announcements that never really pan out. Like he said he was going to have 30,000 people at his rally. He was off by about 29,000 people. Or when he said the Supreme Court was going to side with him 9-0, instead they went against him 0-9. Or when he said Donald Trump would be reinstated as president on August 13th of last year. And then when that didn't happen, he said he'd be reinstated at Thanksgiving last year. And instead now Trump spends Thanksgiving at a golf club with an anti-Semitic schizophrenic and a teenage mutant ninja Hitler. But when Mike Lindell says he's going to beat the current chair, Ronna McDaniel, we're probably going to have to settle for him hitting Ronald McDonald over the head with a chair.
Well, with all my due diligence and in prayer, I am 100% running for the RNC chairman against Ronna McDaniel. 100%. I'm all in, Steve. And one of the things that one of the big donors said to me, he said, Mike, he said, everybody wants you to be head of the RNC. Some of them just don't know it yet.
Right. And they never will. They will never. You do have to admire his crack-headed optimism, though. Sadly, it seems the media is not taking Mike's ambition seriously, and he's upset that jokes are being made about this, some of them even coming from me.
We have our own platform, but we built it as we were getting attacked. I mean, we built it and as, jokes were made then. Jimmy Kimmel, everybody, remember the jokes that were made? He joked about Frank's speech, yet he was the one that watched it the most.
That is true, actually. Yeah, I did watch it a lot. You know what? I'm a fan. And that's why I don't want him running the RNC. I mean, he's got to be there for me when I need him. Even business-wise, this makes no sense. Right now, Mike Lindell's being sued for $1.3 billion by the voting machine company, Dominion, and he's almost certainly going to lose. The RNC doesn't pay enough for him to work there. Mike needs to be thinking about higher-paying jobs, like being an art thief or being Beyonce or something like that. And what about the pillows? Without my pillows, Donald Trump will have nothing to scream into at night anymore. Donald Trump is bigly upset about Jack Smith, the special counsel who was appointed to oversee the investigations into these classified documents he stashed in his basement, and also the role he played in leading the insurrection on January 6th. And you know it's getting serious because he's been referring to himself with his middle initial again. He wrote, "This fully weaponized monster, Jack Smith, shouldn't be let anywhere near the political persecution of President Donald J. Trump. I did nothing wrong on January 6th and nothing wrong with the Democrats' fix on the document hoax. That is, unless the 6 previous presidents did something wrong also. ... while he went to the bathroom, then back, ... When will you invade Bill and Hillary's home in search of the 33,000 emails she deleted? And when will you invade the other presidents' homes in search of documents, which are voluminous, which they took with them, but not nearly so openly and transparently as I did," which I am not a lawyer, but it seems like he just admitted in writing to taking the documents. Well, maybe he's right. Maybe we don't need a special counsel. He just closed the case himself. Saying you've committed the crime openly and transparently is not, it's a defense, it's a confession. Because he's scared. Trump is so scared of this Jack Smith, you'd think he was a windmill. Meanwhile, the Trump family's spinning out, too. Trump's 4th favorite son, Eric, has been making the rounds and doing interviews. So to his credit, Eric is very professional about it. He doesn't play the daddy card. He's completely his own man.
Tom Brady always fought and played for his team. My father's playing for Team America. My father won the primaries, right? My father fought for this country. My father gets out there. We're going to build a wall. People are like, what? My father turned down any kind of salary. My father cleared most of the rhinos out. My father changed the African American vote. My father will win. My father laughed. My father fought his ass off every single day.
Your father is so busy working his ass off, he forgets my birthday and my phone number and sometimes my name. Eric's father's having a tough week. Several prominent Republicans have distanced themselves from Trump's dinner with schmucks. Even Mike Pence took some time during the World's Saddest Book Tour to weigh in on that ill-advised meal with the KKK.
President Trump was wrong to give a white nationalist, an anti-Semite, and a Holocaust denier a seat at the table. And I think he should apologize for it, and he should denounce those individuals and their hateful rhetoric without qualification.
Good, good. Well said, Mike. And let's just leave it at that.
With that being said, as I point out in the book as well, I don't believe Donald Trump is an anti-Semite. I don't believe he's a racist or a bigot. I would not have been his vice president if he was.
Right. No, he's not a racist. He just eats with them, okay? I love Mike Pence telling Donald Trump to apologize. Donald Trump hasn't even apologized for trying to kill you. You think he's going to apologize for this? And Kanye, Trump is very mad at Kanye. He believes he was ambushed, and he reportedly told those around him, Kanye tried to F me, he's crazy. Yeah, no kidding. He declared DEFCON 3 against the Jewish people. That wasn't a hint. You invited a lunatic over for Taco Tuesday. Kanye is doing interviews. He was on a podcast yesterday where he claimed he owes more than $50 million in taxes. Well, good luck finding a decent accountant. He also claims that the IRS put a $75 million hold on his bank accounts, and they're trying to put him in prison. But even if they do, he says he will still run for president. Man, how great would it be to have Kanye and Trump running against each other from prison? Maybe even from the same cell, you know? The future does not seem bright for Kanye West. He owes the government a lot of money. No one wants to do business with him. He shows no sign of contrition whatsoever, and even wholesome neighborhood shoe merchants are circling him smelling blood.
Looking for a stylish, comfortable shoe that looks great, fits your budget, and has no association with the most unhinged rapper who ever lived? Yay Less Shoes has you covered. At Yay Less, we have no affiliation with Kanye West or his white supremacist friends. These non-bigoted boat shoes? Yay Less. These fit for a Jesus sandals. Yay Less. These Yeezys? We wouldn't be caught DEFCON 3 selling these anti-Semitic banana peels.
I love my Yay Less shoes. I can wear them on the treadmill, the street, and around normal people without looking like a horrible yay hole.
I used to wear Yeezys, but then I switched to Yay Less. And boy, are my feet and my rabbi happy.
Sporty yet sensible.
It's the easiest, breeziest, un-Yeeziest shoe store there is. You can't deny these savings or the Holocaust any longer. And recommended by, well, you know.
It was a Jewish doctor.
Oy vey, you got that right. Yay Less Shoes. Just do it.